Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of GNN. Today is Thursday, April 13th, 2023, and with that brings a new mobile suit with the latest banner. But before we get into the details of our brand new mobile suit, let's go over some news. Alright folks, just as a disclaimer, we have GBO Springs Festival 2023 still ongoing all the way down to April 26th. So we have some nice goodies go along the way, which we'll go over in a second, because tonight's banner is the GP00 Blossom. Not to be confused with the GP00 Engage from UC Engage, but this is the Blossom, the predecessor to that unit, as well as a brand new normal suit, which we'll get into the details as well. But alongside our main event, we do have a limited supply drop promotion for the level 2 version of the GPO1 Aqua Gundam, which brings it to 600, as well as its main weapon. So also a pretty prime opportunity if you've never got the chance to get it and were unlucky. Well, it'd be your day. Alongside the Spring Festival promotions, we have a discount pool for the new Blossom for 50% off, so saving up upper pilot, a great thing for you guys. Jumping into the DP exchange counter changes, we do have the Zeta Gundam level 3 now being added to that, which brings it to essentially 700. We also have the Rick DJ level 1 and level 2 support units being added. I believe native it is 550, so the 550 600. Alright folks, jumping into our main event, as I mentioned earlier, the Gundam GP00 Blossom is finally here from 0083 Phantom Bullets. This is a native 500 cost support unit that's usable in ground and space, developed by Anaheim Electronics as a trial unit during the Gundam development project. So even before we know of the GPO1, GPO2 units, and eventually the GPO3, this was where it all began. This was designed to create a luxury multi-purpose mobile suit that incorporated Anaheim's latest technologies and ideas, which included the core block system, a long-range, high-powered beam rifle, and other experimental equipment such as the Minosky Particle Interface Wave Searcher, as I'm reading this verbatim. A very, very distinct unit, and as they mentioned in the lore, it's got a lot of stuff that looks great on paper, but it was definitely overburdened and unbalanced with the amount of things that they slapped on there. So it just literally had a lot of technology added, but nothing to kind of balance out all those different things in unison. Which, as they mentioned, it did provide a lot of pressure on its pilot as well. So, basically on the skill that they have for this new suit, the MPIWS increases range and firepower of the suit's weapons. I'm not sure if this increases with the melees. I would assume as much, since the mechanics are very similar to what the Isaac little pulse weapon radar thing gets. But as the timer goes down, because it basically, from what I've seen, it works very similar to Exam as well. There's a limited timer when it's in effect. Basically what ends up happening is once the timer goes down, the suit loses radar. I'm not sure if it cuts out for everybody else, but basically, since you're the support, you don't have radar function, so this is going to kind of balance out the fact of some of the more aggressive weapons that it does have. At the same time, this is a team-based game, and probably have to stick close to teammates. On top of that, you do have a brand new normal suit coming to the gacha, which is specific to Anaheim. One thing that caught my eye was the helmet design altogether, so this is actually pretty cool looking. Looks very civilian looking like, compared to some of the more military-esque style normal suits that you see with the Federation and Xeon-based themes here. So if you are doing 10 pulls for this, this is definitely something to add to your collection. And as I mentioned earlier, with the limited supply drop promotion ongoing with our main event, we do have the 600 GBO1 Aqua being added to that as well. With that said, on to nitty-gritty details. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is the nitty-gritty behind our brand new mobile suit. Now, mine is actually slightly modified because I got lucky and happened to get double, so you have some extra modifications added to it. But coming in with 15k HP, some modest resistances in ballistic and beam, 18 and 20 respectively, and 16s in melee. Pretty decent numbers for the most part. Range strength of 30, and melee at 20, and I would say significant amount of maneuverability for a sports. Pretty decent for what you get. And it would be nice to be a little bit faster, but I think that would break that support threshold there. 125 at 80 for high-speed movement is pretty decent. You already start with a 70 thrust gauge, which is pretty nice already, considering this does have space compatibility. I almost said space affinity out of habit, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. So it'll have a little more tangibility in that respect, but doesn't say you can't use it on the ground. Range speed is 57, pretty decent. But going into the weapons, we do have its long-range beam rifle, which is a point-and-shoot type of weapon. Heat base, base power of 1900. Bad, our main weapon, 500 meters, which makes it very nice to range poke and kind of take your time with things. As well as the suit has double sabers for 2100 base of 2.5 second cooldown between its swings. Get into the skills in a second, I have a feeling already. Vulcans have a base power of 160 rounds in the mag and an effective range of 150 with a 11-second reload time. Now, trying this in practice, as we showed it earlier on stream, this thing has the same fire rate as the Mark II and GBO2, so this is going to be something that pairs probably pretty well with the shoulder beam guns. Functionality-wise, these work very similar to the Ritter and Hazel and Faye type of weapons. They just they don't allow you to be boosting around. Why this comes with Vulcans, but I feel like these combo very well, considering that you're able to fire a few shots to get that stun build-up going, and you actually have 300 meters of effective range with this at a modest power, so alongside with fast-firing Vulcans, this is going to be a really crazy combinations, at least in the sense of chasing down other enemy generals and going to town to them. 18-second overheat though, so kind of have to watch your heat unless you find it worth it. Going into the last ranged weapon in this category, have a discharge. Basically it's mega particle cannon, mega beam rifle, whatever you want to call it. This is very similar to the BST G04, so it has a base power of 700, but it's a sustained shot, not a one size fit all at once damage type of weapon. Same effective range as its main VR, with an overheat of 30 seconds with a 4-second charge time. So you have to sit still and aim and charge, but it comes out pretty quick basically. This actually is pretty decent alongside some of the other options that you have. Being able to fire this every 30 seconds is probably not bad. You probably could short that down a little bit, but I know some people might be debating if that's even worthwhile or not. You let me know in the comments. But last on the sub-weapon category for this suit, get the showstopper here. This is its special radar deal, which helps spot everything within 450 meters. But you have a 35-second overheat, so have pretty much 35 seconds of no radar, jumping into the shopping list of skills that the Blossom has. Got some of the usual suspects here. Radar at level 3, scope at level 3, pretty nice. Observational data link, which is pretty substantial, and it's kind of standard features now. This one actually comes with the scouting parallel device, which you're able to use this in scope mode and still have the radar up, so this is actually might prove for some interesting plays with the long beam rifle. Gimbal at level 2, so you have a little more flexibility. Comes with force injector and balancers. So I can see this suit using, I would say, a significant amount of boost. And playing with a melee that's pretty crazy. It doesn't have a melee controller, but it has a two-hit downswing like the GPO1. So definitely see some people playing some really crazy stuff with the suit already. Kind of afraid and kind of scared for myself and their team, because it's either going to be a good thing or a bad thing. They also have eye spec and pocket level 2, so this actually improves the turning performance by 3 in space. So this actually turns pretty well. It's going to be a really nice thing in space. I can see that already. Wow. Waist cushioning level 2 reduces damage by 15, special back buffer by 15. No leg buffers, so good luck in that sense. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, with the little radar controller there, it improves range power, and it also makes your radar inactive while in reload mode. So might be something to kind of invest in overheat, since the Mega Beam launcher and this is heat related, as well as your little huge shoulder guns. And of course, while in that mode, while everything is spotted, you get the extra 3% damage, just like the eye zap. Alright folks, that'll do it for tonight's banner news. If you found everything regarding the new suit and everything else that we're getting in addition to that very informative, please do not hesitate to hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely helps out the channel and the algorithm. If you have any suggestions or even feedback regarding that, or some of the remarks that I made, please feel free to throw them in the comments below. And with that said, we're done here. Have a great night, great morning, wherever you are. I'll see you guys all in the next video.